Bapoma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
It is the Pregame Show. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Congratulations, you made it. It's Friday. It's a payday Friday. It's a Phil Collins Friday. It's a Niners, Warriors, Giants Friday, whatever you want to talk about. And you know the question here at 888-957-9570, whenever it's a Friday. The question is, what are you doing this weekend? Come on. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous out here in the Bay. I don't see a cloud in the sky over in the East Bay. It's been nice 75 degrees, steady and breeze. Oh, I love it. So what are you doing this weekend? That's always the question here on a Friday on the Pregame Show. Welcome in. I am your host, Joe Spadoni, for just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting ready for the weekend, vacation, whatever you're doing. Appreciate you taking the time, whether it's the old-fashioned way, just searching 95.7 The Game on your radio dial, or it's on the Odyssey app. Download that bad boy if you haven't. Favorite 95.7 The Game for all of your Warriors, Giants, Niners, all your Bay Area sports coverage, as well as, thousands of other stations. You can have your Live 105s, your alternative. You can get into your politics, your history, your aliens, your movies, shows, whatever. Got it, everything, man. Got everything. And also, you can come search 95.7 The Game on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Look at this beautiful face at 5 a.m. We are streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. Again, just search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe, ring the bell. And also, 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text. Now that we got all that out of the way, we had an NBA schedule drop, ladies and gentlemen. An NBA schedule. Now, when I heard the news, everyone was saying, yesterday, the NBA schedule, it's getting released, 12 o'clock. Be ready, be on your toes. I'm like, all right. Am I supposed to break down each and every individual game? How do you want me to do this? It's like, it only goes so far on radio, right? So you have to look at little trends okay, so, they got big road series to open up the season and then to end the season. They play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from October 27th to November 8th, they got one home game in there. That's Sacramento. So for a team that we've all said needs to start hot, or at least way better than they did last season, they cannot afford to start in a hole. The 2023-24 Golden State Warriors cannot afford that. They need to start off on the right foot, because get in a hole in this Western Conference, we saw it last season. It is very, very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult to come out of it. Now you may say, well, Spadoni, there's a play-in team in the finals. Miami Heat, Lakers, play-in team in the Western Conference Finals. We're fine. You don't want to tempt that. That's all I'm saying. You do not want to tempt fate. But that's another story for another day. It's about having fun here, right? You're going to have some fun as it pertains to the Golden State Warriors. What's the one matchup you're looking forward to? Keep it simple for you. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Shut up, math. What's the one matchup you're most looking forward to next season? We're going to hear from Mike Dunleavy Jr., who joined Allen and Guru yesterday. Did a hell of a job, those two, interviewing the new general manager of the Golden State Warriors. He had some interesting thoughts as it pertained to the Warriors' first game of the season. That is against old buddy, old pal, Kevin freaking Durant. First time in front of fans. He's going to be at Chase Center. And how are we going to be feeling about that? I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. Kevin Durant, he's a legend here. He should be a statue guy. He's the best player on the freaking planet that helped you win 2 championships. Get you to 3. Not for his Achilles blowing out, for Klay Thompson's ACL getting torn, probably winning another one. And Steph would have his 5th. Now, ifs and buts, candy and nuts, Merry Christmas. Shout out Lo Neal. We get all that. But how's that reception going to be on opening night? I think mood is going to be great. It's going to be a little weird, right? Here comes Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, the guy who was linked to the Warriors for all these months, DeAndre Ayton. Guys waltzing into town, young, hot, fresh things. Frank Vogel, NBA champion, as their new head coach. And on the other side, it's Chris Paul? Huh? CP3 in a Golden State Warriors uniform? What the hell? So there's going to be some weird kind of dynamics, if you will. But I think overall, he will get a resounding applause. Why shouldn't he? Guy won championships. Isn't that all that matters? At the end of the day, winning. And I think that's what Kevin Durant represented. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the chat, on the YouTube chat, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Dublin Marge, EJ, Cortez, Jesus. Saludos, buenos dias. Wow, Dublin Marge, we good in the West. Wow. Well, you need to get past the Western Conference semifinals in order to be good in the West. And there's this team called the Denver Nuggets that, again, I still think, until proven otherwise, till we see them on the court, I think they're a good tier above everyone else in the Western Conference. That's how well they play. That's how much they dominated last season. They dominated last season, and they're still not getting their respect. Do it again. Nikola Jokic, do it again. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, that's great. Bruce Brown, he's gone. KCP, okay. See, no one fears the Denver Nuggets still. No one. And that's because their best player is a guy we don't really hear from. Nikola Jokic. Listen, it's fair to say, just judging by the videos, we think Nikola Jokic cares more about winning horse races with some of his horses out in Serbia than he did the NBA title. I was living it up this summer. It's just funny. I love basketball season. Fans off. And football's about to be here. We got 49ers, Broncos tomorrow. Levi Stadium. Who's going to that? 888-957-9570. Oh, man. It's the best time of the year. It's coming up, folks. Football's going to carry us, as it always does, each and every season. And then before you know it, it's going to be Warriors season. It's going to be NBA basketball season. Then you got the two GOATs going head-to-head there. Cannot wait. Can't wait. Apparently, I'm going to have to wait, though, for the team that knocked out the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference semis. Warriors-Lakers? First game not until January 27th? What the hell is that? What? Come on. Now, I guess technically they can meet prior to that in the in-season tournament in the knockout stages. And yes, there is an in-season tournament this year, folks. For those of you who are just looking at the schedule and be like, why are some of these teams like repeats? Well, it's from November 3rd through the 28th. All the teams will be in their little, brackets, if you will. Their in-season tournament brackets. You got the Warriors in the C group. So there's A, B, and C in each conference. Warriors will be in the C group with the Sacramento Kings, Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the San Antonio Spurs. All right? Simple enough. Not in the West, though. We know that. We know better. All those groups are going to be very difficult, to say the least. But if you advance, get the best record in each of those, and then there's a wild card in each, so that's 4 on each side. Then you get 2v2. Obviously, I don't need to explain brackets to my smart audience here at 5:09 a.m. on the pregame show with Joe Spadoni. Do not need to do that. Long story short is, Warriors and Lakers can meet earlier in December, but if they don't, gotta wait until January 27th. Oh, February? For the most highly anticipated matchup? Come on. Hate that. But I guess if you're trying to look at the glass half full there, it's NFL season. You know, it's winding down there. And then towards the end, we can really start focusing in on Warriors and Lakers there. And maybe the Niners are knocked out. Maybe they're still going for it in the playoffs at that point. We shall see. I guess. Cortez. Some of the matchups he's looking forward to next season for the Golden State Warriors. Some of the obvious ones, but appreciate you chiming in nonetheless, Cortez. Nuggets, Kings, Lakers, Suns, Wizards. Yeah, that's one. Yeah. Jordan Poole. How could you not be excited for that? And that's going to be, as I'm scrolling down here, the home one, Friday, December 22nd. Festivus Eve. Shout out Kramer. Wizards, Warriors. Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. It's going to be an ESPN broadcast. I wonder if, and that's going to be a Friday night, I wonder if Bob Myers is going to be on that call. New broadcaster for ESPN. Obviously, he'll be doing a lot of more of the pre- and post-game duties, but I believe his contract, or some of the details of that contract when they were released, I think they said, you know, hey, he could do some games. Can you imagine? Former president of basketball operations, Bay Area legend, future Hall of Famer Bob freaking Myers calling that game. Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. Oh, we could dream, can't we? Chef's kiss. We could dream. Jay Smith, as in regards to Kevin Durant, again, the Phoenix Suns' first game for the Golden State Warriors this upcoming regular season. We've been talking about the schedule getting released. What are some of the matchups you want to look forward to the most? What are you looking forward to the most, I should say, in that schedule release? 888-957-9570. Jay Smith on the YouTube chat. He helped win those rings, Kevin Durant. We were a championship team before and after. You don't know if he would have won 2 more if he didn't come. Facts. No, I'm confident enough in saying the Warriors don't win those titles without Kevin Durant. He was the best player on those teams. He's the one that put them over the top. You had just lost to that same Cavs team you beat 2 more times in a row. So you just lost in 2016. Then you bring in Kevin Durant, and then you're a tier above everyone else. Hell, you can say 2 tiers. That's how dominant that team was. So yes, I still don't think Kevin Durant gets the flowers that he deserves here. Even there, Jay Smith. Yeah, he helped. Yeah, but we were a championship team before and after. Yeah, God. I hate that. Why can't we just celebrate champions? It has to be this weird thing. It has to be this weird, oh, but Steph did it without him. Oh, KD hasn't done it without him. Just stop. God, the players standing. It's out of control in these leagues. It is. And we love Steph. We do. But in basketball, more than any other sport, you got to root for individual players, not the team, not the collective. And what Kevin Durant did was bring the team here in the Bay 2 more titles and had 2 finals MVPs. Whether you like it or not, that happened. He was the best player on those teams. And they do not win those titles without him. That's facts. Sure, they were a championship team before him, and they were after him too. I get all that. But let's not forget that stretch that he had with 3 straight finals appearances. And it took a while to get back to that. And hell, they may never win another one. That's why this time last year, it's kind of wild now, just looking back, August 18th last year, we were just partying it up, right? A couple months removed from a championship parade. Hell, there's confetti still in here from that parade, I think, somewhere. But life comes at you fast. Can the Warriors get back onto that mountaintop? We shall see. It's going to be tough. This is one of the first times in a while the Warriors are looking up in the West. And they're all healthy. So you had excuses built in the past where it's just like, okay, Clay's not hurt. It's Steph, Wiggins. But now, fully healthy, and you're not the best team currently in the West. So it's going to make this season that much more exciting to watch for that perspective. There's so many teams in the West right now that think they are right there neck and neck with the Denver Nuggets. But again, Nuggets, they're still that tier above. Got to give them their respect. They dominated last season. But as it is in sports, what do we want to see? Oh, you want? Do it again. Yeah, you're a one-year wonder. That's what we do, unfortunately. It is what it is. Mike Dunleavy Jr., a lot of pressure on him. Coming in, getting rid of JP, bringing in Chris Paul, making the tough decisions, if you will. Hell of a first year, first few months, taking over for Bob Myers, a guy that's beloved here in the Bay, a Bay Area guy. Here's Mike Dunleavy Jr. on yesterday with Guru and Allen. If you want to find that entire interview, search 95.7 The Game on Twitch and YouTube. You can also find it on the Odyssey app. And again, Twitch and YouTube powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Mike Dunleavy Jr. on, and this is a great question from Guru, just straight shooter right here. He had to bring up the punch. Asked if that hadn't happened, would Jordan Poole still be here? Here's Dunleavy Jr.
Really hard to say. To go back in the scenario and kind of put the toothpaste back in the tube and evaluate is tough. And so how much that had to do with us making the move is hard to really explain. But I think from a basketball standpoint and a financial standpoint, we did a deal that makes sense. So, who's to say? Who's to say what impact that had on the season last year and then our thought process this summer? So I'm sure it factored in how much I can't really honestly give you. But overall, I think our basketball team is in a better place right now than it was a year ago, which, by the way, happened to be before that incident happened. So we feel good with where we're at. Hate seeing Jordan go. Gave so much to this franchise. Wouldn't have a banner without him. But overall, we feel like trying to win a championship next year with Chris Paul in the mix greatly improves our chances, and we're excited.
Yes, I think we can all agree there that it's been a net positive overall. And if you disagree with that, 888-957-9570. But the addition of Chris Paul is overall a net positive, even with the loss of Jordan Poole. What he brings on the floor, Hall of Fame pedigree, IQ, slow the pace down, everything. Get a clutch bucket if you need him to. The only thing that's concerning, and it's a huge concern for this team, is health. Not just for Chris Paul, but for all the guys on this team. They're an older, veteran-savvy team. And when you're going up against, and you're trying to knock off the Kings, not the actual Kings, Sacramento, but also the Sacramento Kings, but the Denver Nuggets, who are kings of the NBA right now, they're a young, big, athletic team. It's very difficult. And you're going to need your future Hall of Famers to stay healthy. That's been the one knock on Chris Paul in his career, is not been able to stay healthy when it matters most. And he was, I get it. When they played the Bucks for you, they were up, 2-0, 2-1, whatever it was, in the finals. Then it all fell apart. But he has never been on this stacked of a team. And when I say stacked, I mean the amount of Hall of Famers. He's got Stephen Curry, top 10 player of all time. Klay Thompson, should have been top 75, wasn't. He'll probably be on the top 100, though. Should be, if he's not. And then Draymond Green, who Steve Kerr, his head coach, says the greatest defensive player of all time. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, yeah, by the way, Andrew Wiggins, hell, when it's all said and done, he might just be a Hall of Famer because you know what? Everyone in basketball gets a Hall of Fame. It's like Oprah. You get a Hall of Fame, you get a Hall of Fame, you get a Hall of Fame, you get a Hall of Fame. Real quick on that, can we get a separate Hall of Fame for just the NBA? For the love of God. The basketball Hall, what is it? The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? Is there anything more hollow than getting elected into that? Ugh. Hall of Fame should mean something. And I get it. All the sports don't do it right. Baseball, it's weak. They're become way too, exclusive. When the greatest player in the last, 30, 40 years, and Barry Bonds isn't in there, it's become a little bit hollow. I think NFL gets it right for the most part. Some guys may have to wait a little bit longer. There's some dumb stuff like T.O. getting left off the first ballot because of his attitude, quote unquote. Like stuff like that's dumb, but ultimately they get it right at the end of the day. The guys that should be in there are in there. Maybe it's a little bit too late. R.I.P. Ken Stabler, Cliff Branch should have been in when they were alive. Let's get Jim Plunkett in there, by the way. Lester Hayes, amongst others. Thankfully, Tom Flores did get in. And for the Niners, Roger Craig should be in there. I think Patrick Willis with Zach Thomas getting in, he'll get in there. But the NBA Hall of Fame, again, basketball should be the NBA Hall of Fame. Like, just what are we doing? What are we doing? 888-957-9570 if you're with me. But Chris Paul makes this team better, ultimately. And it's going to be fascinating to see that dynamic with him, Steph, Draymond, Steve Kerr. We know the famous little line from him.
You coaching?
That was when Kendra Andrews of ESPN asked him, is he going to be coming off the bench or not?
You coaching?
No. Or is he going to be coaching on the floor? It's kind of like another coach out there, another point guard, can see the floor, see the vision, be a field general, if you will. Here's more from Dunleavy Jr. and again, his interview with Steiny and Guru yesterday, Allen for Steiny. Asked if Golden State has talked, people in the organization have talked with Chris Paul about coming off the bench or starting.
I think the conversations have been, look, man, we're adding a hell of a player to the mix, and we've got 5 or 6 other really good players. Only 5 players can start. The answer is we don't really know. Like, we got to get to camp. Steve's got to get to camp. Chris, our players, and just see how this all works. The bottom line is, though, the guy's never played less than 30 minutes in his career. He's going to play a ton, as is Kavan, as is Draymond, as is Steph, and so on and so forth. So I guess people are going to make a big deal out of who's starting and who's not. My main thing is to put together a really good basketball team. I think we've done that, adding Chris Paul, whether he's starting, coming off the bench. As long as he's playing a lot, I think we'll be really good.
As long as he's playing a lot, that's what I got from that too. Chris Myers. Is this Chris Myers from Fox? On the YouTube chat. A little spicy this morning at 5:21 a.m. on the pregame show. Bro, we're on the cusp of the NFL season. You're talking the NBA schedule? You lost me. Taking off 2 pros and a cup of Joe for this trash. It's the off season. What's the next segment? WNBA schedule drop? Well, the WNBA is already in season, so if you want to find that schedule drop, you can probably just go on WNBA.com. Not that hard, Chrissy. Yes, I'm talking the schedule drop. We're the flagship of the station for the Golden State Warriors. We're the flagship station. And yes, I think people are interested. And yes, I'll be honest, I'm a little tired of breaking down preseason football. Giants didn't play yesterday. It is what it is. If you don't like it, appreciate you chiming in, Chris. Hey, Chris, what game are you looking forward to this year? WNBA or NBA? Let me know. Chrissy. A little spicy this morning on a Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. It's a payday Friday. Chrissy, why are you so grumpy? Speaking of a guy who I thought was grumpy, Mike Dunleavy Jr., he's actually kind of grown on me. Very well spoken. I don't think he's as personable as the guy as Bob Myers is, but who is, right? Like, there's a reason Bob Myers is getting a job with ESPN. He has his podcast, all that sort of stuff. Very, very personable. Very emotional. He gets in touch with his emotions. Dunleavy Jr., though, I always thought this kind of this cold, brooding figure. Didn't have the nicest time here in the Bay Area. He always eludes his time with the Warriors. I think he kind of compartmentalizes it. And you hear him talking in the interview yesterday. He's like, yeah, I don't view the Warriors as the same as when I was there. And that's over in Oakland. We're in San Francisco now, which kind of don't like when he says that because it's almost like, yeah, this is a new team. We're over in San Francisco now. Yeah. I get what he's saying because that was a different part of his career. And the memories weren't the best out in Oracle for him most of the time. But you hear him talk. And he's very personable. Got to be honest. Here's more of him talking yesterday about Jonathan Kuminga and his plans for the future of the Warriors. Because last year, let's face it, ended poorly for Jonathan. Was not the best. Going to CJ Holmes of the San Francisco Chronicle, kind of venting about his playing time. Not getting any minutes in a crucial and pivotal Game 6 in Los Angeles. Many thought, compromise Wiggins. Why don't we toss Kuminga on LeBron? He's crushing us right now. Well, here's Dunleavy Jr. and his thoughts on Kuminga going for 60 points in this offseason.
Well, scoring 60 in a game, I don't care if it's a summer league game or a regular season or a playoff game. I mean, that's hard to do. Not many people can do that. So I saw some highlights, didn't watch the whole game, but Jonathan's in a really good place mentally and physically. He's put a lot of work in. He's been around our gym, and he's focused on, his own career, but also helping our group win games. And I think that's a good place to be heading into year 3. He's still super young, but he's had the experience and he's had some ups and downs that I think he's learned from, we've learned from. And I think he's in a good spot right now to have a great season. And I'm excited for him.
888-957-9570. We're talking schedule release for the Golden State Warriors. What are some of the games you're looking forward to? We'll get into the 49ers a little bit on the other side. They take on the Denver Broncos for their second game of this preseason. Sam Darnold will play this first half. Will he be starting it, though? Kyle Shanahan spoke yesterday, said, there's a chance we see Brock Purdy for a couple series. You want to see that? Should Brock not even play at all, still recovering? And Trey Lance, what are we looking for from him? And we'll continue to take your calls and texts on the schedule release as well. 888-957-9570. Good morning, my family. Dublin Marge. Yeah, Chris Myers. Good morning to you too. MVP JB. All of you will get to your calls and texts and comments here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni and Phil Collins. Payday Friday. Schedule release Friday. It's just a damn Friday. 95.7 The Game.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
This song goes out to my buddy Chris Myers on the chat. Hope you have a good day. Nice weekend, Chrissy. Appreciate you chiming in on the pregame show with Joe Spadoni here. One segment down, 2 more to go. Got the crossover next segment where Joe Shasky in the Morning Roast joins me. Break down this upcoming sports weekend, what he's going to be looking for tomorrow in 49ers game 2 of preseason against the Denver Broncos. Will Brock Purdy play? Should he play? Trey Lance, Sam Darnold. Kind of feels like make or break at this point for Trey Lance. Just crazy, considering he was a number 3 overall pick, and they traded 3 first rounds, including a swap, for him. Man, life comes at you fast. We've been talking NBA schedule release. Warriors schedule dropped yesterday. What are some of the games you are looking forward to? We've been listening to Mike Dunleavy Jr., who joined Alan and Guru yesterday. Alan filling in for Steiny. Steiny's living it up in Ireland, by the way. Just golfing. And yes, we do have a ticket giveaway today. We do. As I'm seeing my family bring it up. Thank you, my family. Shout out. Being prepared here at 5:33 a.m. on the pregame show is what it is. But here we go. On each show, so not this one, but Morning Roast, Steiny Goo, Wheeler Dibs, each show, one lucky listener will win a pair of tickets to any game he or she wants to go to. Morning Roast, promote that. It'll happen sometime between 8:30. Steiny and Goo, 12 to 12:30. Wheeler Dibs, 5 to 5:30. You know what? Got to be listening. You've got to be listening. And again, any game, anyone. We're celebrating the entire release of the NBA schedule and specifically the Golden State Warriors. And we love you here at 95.7 The Game. We love the Golden State Warriors. We want to reward our listeners, our loyal listeners, with some tickets to any game you want to go to this season. So we listen to all the shows all day right here on 95.7 The Game. We will be giving those away. So just listen to each show for those details. Speaking of details, it's what Trey Lance needs to be taken care of tomorrow. It's what Sam Darnold needs to be taken care of tomorrow. The details, the little things, the small things. Shout out Blink-182. And there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Trey Lance to perform in this game, even against 2s and 3s. Even if he's playing the second half and not starting the game off. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on this guy to deliver. Will he do it? That's the question. Will Trey Lance deliver? From what I saw last week, it's going to be hard to be any worse. I mean, he should have had 2 picks. Luckily, he didn't. Those are the breaks. But he had a rough performance thus far. And David Lombardi of The Athletic that covers the team joined the Morning Roast the other day and just, talked about how tough this road will be for Trey Lance going forward here.
It's been a really tough couple of years for him injury-wise. This was a raw prospect who the 49ers drafted, needing to develop. We knew that the whole time. Broke his finger in 2021. That ruined the season of development. Broke his ankle in 2022. That ruined his season of development. And if the 49ers, because of the massive investment they made in Trey Lance, go through draft capital, and also because he's number 3 overall pick, they had to pay him a lot because he bought it for a lot of money. If both of those blows had happened and Brock Purdy hadn't showed up, the 49ers would be in huge trouble. So the fact that Brock Purdy showed up in the 7th round, 262, at such an affordable contract because the 49ers don't have a lot of money after all the spending is really a saving grace for the 49ers at this point.
Again, David Lombardi covers team for The Athletic, who joined the Morning Roast. You can find that entire interview on the Odyssey app and Twitch and YouTube, which is powered by First NorCal Credit Union. So what are we looking for tomorrow with Trey? I just want to look at decisiveness. I don't want to see happy feet. Shout out Elijah Wood and Robin Williams. I don't want to see that. I want to see a guy who's fighting for his NFL life. And I know big topic of conversation yesterday. Bonte brought it up. Trey Lance, playing in the CFL would be the worst thing. No, I'm here to say it would be the worst thing. He ain't coming back from that. That's a reality. That's a harsh reality that he could potentially be facing if the 49ers move off of him. Because if Kyle Shanahan moves off of you, it's very difficult to find another job. Now it can be done. Nick Mullins is backing up Kirk Cousins out in Minnesota. Is he still leaving? I'm just going off the quarterback, dog. Is Nick Mullins still in Viking? 888-957-9570. But once Kyle Shanahan moves off from you, a guy that is widely considered one of the best football minds currently, it's tough. Now, there were going to be a conversation whether he is this true, quarterback guru, or if the scheme he has is just, perfect for a lot of guys to plug and play. Now, not everyone could do it. We're seeing that now. And Brian Baldinger joined the Morning Roast. Brian Baldinger, former NFL offensive lineman, NFL Network, Baldy Breakdowns. We love him here at 95.7 The Game. He was saying, the absence of Brock Purdy, it's noticeable. Why? Because these guys, Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, that quick release, it's the between the ears, the quick twitch, quick release, the seeing it before it happens, the details. And maybe some quarterbacks have and some don't. We don't know. Sam Darnold, we know what he is at this point, right? We kind of know what he is. Not a full-on bust, but, kind of. For where he was drafted, just like Trey Lance, top 5 quarterback in a stacked quote-unquote QB draft, and now he's on his 3rd team. This is kind of it for him too. So I'm looking at both these guys with a tremendous opportunity tomorrow, and specifically Sam Darnold in this first half. He could potentially be going up against some of the ones in Denver. I don't know if anyone watched the Broncos in week 1 of the preseason. They played a lot of their guys, a lot of their starters early on. Sean Payton's not fooling around over there in Denver. Well, he kind of is with some of these stupid rules, bucket hats, shades, etc. No fun league also applies to practice, I guess. But they play a lot of their guys. They play hard, and that's a great opportunity for Sam Darnold if he gets some reps with the ones as well, going up against a number 1 defense, a number 1 type of caliber defense, the Denver Broncos. Because say what you will about their offense last year, which was putrid, one of the worst teams I've ever seen offensively, their defense is legit. The Pat Surtains of the world. Lockdown corner right there. You got some studs back there. So, huge, huge opportunity for Sam Darnold. What are you looking forward to in this game? And are you going to the game? Because after all, it's a Friday. It's a payday Friday. Phil Collins Friday. What are you doing this weekend? 888-957-9570. That is the number. Got my mother-in-law in town. I don't know what we're going to be doing. Something. Means we're going to do something. If the in-law's in town, we got to go out. I'm just not a person that likes to go out too much. I've always been a quote-unquote homebody. Just like to chill. Maybe it's my generation. I don't know. Call me a soft millennial, if you will, but grew up in a lot of video games in my household. Chilling. Sports. That was basically it. I like to stay inside. But maybe that's a product of having all these siblings. I just share my room. And you might say, well, wouldn't that be a reason you want to leave? Yeah, you'd think. But everyone else left. So I was just chilling at home most of the time. Everyone else felt cooped up there. Not me. Not me. And of course, the missus, only child, didn't grow up with her sibling. So she's basically an only child. What are we doing? What are we doing? So we've got to go out. I feel cooped up. No. Let's just relax. Have a nice weekend and chill. She's like, are you serious? We have 2 kids. It's impossible. And to which I respond, yeah, you're right. You're right, honey. And when you're right, you're right. And you know what? It saves me a lot of arguments right there. Just saying you're right to your significant other. It helps. That's my word of wisdom here at 5:41 a.m. on the pregame show. We're going to take one more break. Come on back. Joe Shasky, the cross Jover, coming up next. Get his thoughts, what he's looking for tomorrow with Trey Lance, with Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy potentially playing. Should he play at all? We'll get into that. Plus, NBA schedule breakdown. What's he looking forward to next season? All that coming up next right here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's your boy Guru. Every time we put a rat on the table during our show, it's brought to you by Atco Pest Control. Atco Pest Control is a family-owned local business proud to provide pest control in the Bay Area for over 35 years. Atco uses natural methods to give you a peace of mind and keep your family out of harm's way. Quality pest control doesn't have to empty your savings either. Don't wait. Go to atcopestcontrol.com for all your pest control needs. They got you covered.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Phil Collins Friday, Payday Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. Been talking NBA schedule drop. What game are you looking forward to the most? Is it the in-season tournament you're looking forward to? It's basically all of November. Don't play the Lakers, the team that eliminated you, until the end of January, but could face them in the knockout stages of that in-season tournament come December. Talking preseason game 2 tomorrow at Levi's for the 49ers. Broncos in town. Sounds like, and Kyle Shanahan spoke yesterday, he said, sounds like, Brock Purdy may get a series or two. Be good to see. Looking forward to that. Or are you like,
I'm sure there'll be no overreaction to that one way or the other.
Of course not. Pat Surtain pick 6? Come on. That's not going to happen.
I didn't even think of that.
They're playing I think the Broncos have been playing a lot of their ones, right? Joe Shasky joining me for the crossover. What's up, Joe?
Well, look. I hear everybody on we don't see these guys. Like, I understand everybody's point of view. But honestly,
from a certain point of view,
6 handoffs and then he comes out of the game and
we need to see the arm. I want to see him throwing.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't everyone? That's like the big question mark this whole offseason is Brock Purdy's elbow.
So he takes a hike, he drops back, 3-step drop, just a little dinker, little drop off.
Shot put. There you go.
A little shot
put.
Well,
hell, you couldn't do that in the NFC Championship. You were there in Philadelphia. You couldn't even do that.
I know he couldn't do that. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I know.
Here's the crazy thing. I understand the thirst for wanting to see someone play. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. I get it. But at the end of the day, I also I'm trying to use my head here, and I'm saying, okay, he completes 2 passes, a couple little dump offs or something like that. He's good. And then, or hypothetically, he drops back and he throws one and it gets broken up.
Yeah.
Now what are we gonna do?
Well, he stinks. He's done.
It seems absurd.
But that's just what it is. The NFL. There's nothing
I know, you're
like
right.
it.
Maybe I'm just an idiot for not acknowledging it is what it is.
Well, it's funny because I got a text early on, Chris Myers, my guy. Not Chris Myers of Fox. Not Chris Myers, but from the YouTube. And he's just
I thought it was Adam Myers, like Adam Myers Wins.
No. It's not that one.
Calling us from prison.
Not Mike Myers either. Shout out Gold member.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't that. No, he was just like, why the hell are you talking NBA? We're on the cusp of the NFL season. Spadoni, what are you doing?
I love the way you
I just turned into Macho Man for some reason. And
Miss Elizabeth.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But he was basically like, yeah, what the hell? I was like, I can only talk preseason for so damn long, dude. Like, come on. Like.
You know what I did this
kind of jumping the shark a little bit. I understand. Trey Lance didn't look good last week. He just didn't like that, and that's why we were talking about it.
Of course,
he just didn't look good. Sam Darnold, Baldy even said he didn't even look that good either to him. So I am interested somewhat tomorrow for Darnold to get the first team reps, stuff like that, potentially going up against a legit defense in the Broncos. But I can only talk about it so much until I have to react to it. So we've been talking about it all week, and it's like, okay, Monday, sure. But today, I thought, let's do a little pivot here. Don't panic. Talk a little Warriors. Is that Joe, is that crazy?
No. Don't we all get fatigued? It's too much of anything. If I eat ice cream all day, every day, I love ice cream.
Yes.
But if I ate it all day, every day, I would get fatigued at some point.
Absolutely.
You know what they say, Joe? Variety is the key to life.
Yes. Well, I guess people in trouble too. Variety is the key of life. I'm just looking at that in other certain ways. As I digress real quick.
I love looking at things that people are Googling on here.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's just, Sam Darnold age, pride in the dictionary. That's
JD special right there. It's always the last person that was on there. It's John Dickinson who was on there yesterday. There you go. Willard and JD sounded great this week. Allen and Guru, hell of an interview yesterday with Mike Dunleavy Jr. Hear some of that, Joe Shasky?
No, actually, I heard portions of it, but I didn't hear it live. I went back and redid it.
Major props to Guru, asking him straight up, and I was very impressed. And this isn't even tongue in cheek, but if Jordan Poole didn't get punched, is he still on the team? I was like, I think no, seriously, that's kind of the question everyone just kind of want. We're putting a bow on it.
Think of how absurd that sentence. It's a legit question.
No, it's a legit question.
But just think of how absurd. If he didn't get punched, would he still be on the team?
And this is how Dunleavy Jr. responded. I just want to play for it, everyone, real quick. Mike Dunleavy Jr. yesterday on Steiny and Goo.
Really hard to say. To go back in a scenario and kind of put the toothpaste back in the tube and evaluate is tough. And so how much that had to do with us making the move is hard to really explain. But I think from a basketball standpoint and a financial standpoint, we did a deal that makes sense. So, who's to say? Who's to say what impact that had on the season last year and then our thought process this summer? So I'm sure it factored in. How much I can't really honestly give you, but overall, I think our basketball team is in a better place.
Is there only one?
Who's to say? I'm to say that it was horrible for the team last year, but go ahead.
No.
I think most of us could agree on that, Mike.
It's weird how we do this in sports, like championship or bust. And I'm always like, it's so hard to win a championship. Like it
is.
I understand the mentality,
especially with a guy that's only played 8 games. But go ahead, shout the Niners.
Yeah. No, but like I understand that point of view. I don't want to dismiss that. But I'm just saying to myself, like, it feels like for a segment of Warrior fans, the only way they win the Chris Paul trade, the only way is if they win a championship with Chris Paul.
Well, that's the expectations.
It almost feels unfair.
I mean, a year ago, is it though? A year ago, you're just celebrating a championship. A year ago.
They got bounced in the second round.
They did.
All right, and I do think Chris Paul will help a lot.
Well,
but
the refs
Joe
Shasky, the refs were to blame for that series most of the time. They were clearly against the Warriors all season long. They were against them in that series. Lonnie Walker, that was a fluke. So they'll be fine.
I hate you.
I'm just saying that's what they say.
Here's what I say. They're going to need the ball to bounce their way, which is what any championship team will need. So I'll acknowledge, some fortune, some breaks. They need to have, obviously, more synergy, more chemistry together, be more efficient in the half court. They're going to have to find some roles defensively and offensively for some of the young players to acquiesce themselves. Like, is a Dario Saric, can he be a reliable piece randomly off the bench in multiple games of a playoff series? Not for the whole thing, but like a game here or a game there. That is the difference. Those are, like Lonnie Walker having that moment, that was a big difference.
Yes.
Not the only, but it was a big difference in that series.
Well, the difference in the series was the guys that stepped up for the Lakers and didn't step up for the Warriors.
Exactly.
Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, etc.
And I look at like all these series, and whether it's the Kings, Warriors, preceding that, as the series are going along, some guys play themselves into favorable matchups. Some of them play them out. It just felt like the Warriors were like clicked down to like 3 reliable guys by the end. You know what I mean?
No. Steve Kerr does that. Like, he only goes to the guys he trusts. Like, Kuminga, that's going to be another big storyline. Like, people wanted to see him. Hey, you have a compromised Andrew Wiggins in there, and we still can't get Jonathan Kuminga minutes on LeBron James, who's just bullying our entire unit right now. So it's a great point. Shout out to the YouTube chat, Twitch, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
If you told me Kuminga popped this year, I mean, I'm talking like broke through.
Just dropped 60 points, Shasky.
Well, okay, let's be real. 14 points a game, right? 15 points a game, which is a lot of points.
No,
like,
it is.
I don't think people realize. But like, let's just say that's what his average was, and he was rebounding, let's say 4 or 5 rebounds, or maybe it's more than that. But he's really good perimeter defense, and on any given night, he can give you 25. Other nights, he might only give you like 10. But like, if that's the kind of player that he ended up being, I'd be like, man, I could see that. I could also see like nothing happening, just because I know how difficult it is for the young man to stay on the floor, because it feels like very similar to Kyle Shanahan in terms of like short fuse. Steve Kerr has very little patience for certain players.
Well, yeah, he just saw firsthand what happened with his playing time when Andrew Wiggins came back, and also what happened to Jordan Poole, a guy that would helped contribute to a championship a season prior, and he's getting, his minutes reduced and stuff like that. So it's very difficult, that fine line, if you're a young player on this Warriors team with hopes for a championship, to be able to contribute. Real quick, football season is here, and what better way to kick it off than with the 95.7 The Game's Red and Gold Summit? Join all your favorite 95.7 The Game hosts at Fieldwork Brewing Company in San Ramon to welcome in the football year on Tuesday, August 29th. Willard and Dibs will start off at 2 p.m. Then the summit will go on from 4 to 6. All the hosts will debate and answer the most burning questions surrounding the red and gold during a live show right in front of you, our loyal listeners. Again, that's Tuesday, August 29th at Fieldwork Brewing Company Tap Room and Beer Garden in San Ramon, now featuring the Lynx Top Golf Simulators. Good morning, Joe Shasky Jr. from Athens. He's saying, good morning,
Pops
fellas.
is stepping up. Oh,
I visited Greece on my honeymoon. Hope you're enjoying it. Didn't go in August, where I'm sure it's nice, sticky, and hot. Went in late March, early April.
Hey, Dad.
Beautiful, gorgeous. Hope you're enjoying all that architecture. And a lot of graffiti there. I was not, I was very surprised with the amount of graffiti in Athens.
So it's interesting. I was listening to portions of Willard and JD yesterday. Mark is just such a different sports fan than me.
Yeah.
No, I mean like he's like really different. And I don't understand. I really don't.
Is
He's
it the
not
positivity?
alone. There are a lot of people who consume sports the way Mark does. So I don't want to dismiss his point of view. I find it really odd, but that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of people like him. For example,
I respect that.
Over and over and over again, you're going to hear similar rhetoric of, well, I mean, the team is telling you X, Y, and Z. The team is telling you who they believe in. And I hear him. I remember when the 49ers, the team was telling me Alex Smith was better than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's why they picked him. Yeah. The team was telling me what they thought of Alex Smith by selecting him. And they were way wrong. Now, I'm not saying you can't have faith in guys, right? But to just constantly, like, pivot over to this, the team is saying this, and the GM is telling it. Dog, there are people in my life who I love. And I don't agree with every decision that they make. That's what a marriage is about. You're a little give and a little take, When I consume my teams, and I kind of want to get into this today. When I consume my teams, yes, I want them to win. But I don't agree with every decision that they make. The team is telling you that Javon Kinlaw and Jimmy Ward and DeForest Buckner is better, and Eric Armstead is better than having DeForest Buckner. Yeah, they were wrong about that.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
That doesn't mean I don't love the Niners.
Well, I think a healthy fan has to be skeptical. Just a healthy, in life, you have to be skeptical. I'm seeing it bleed over from and I don't want to get political here, but it kind of is like how people are with their political parties. So-and-so could never be wrong.
Bro,
never. And it's like leaking into sports almost like, hey, if you disagree with so-and-so, you suck. Hey, I'm seeing it now with players holding out, trying to do what's best for their own lives.
Yes.
People are turning on Josh Jacobs in the Raiders. Like, he was our best player last year. We're turning on him because he thinks he deserves to get paid, which he does. But now because he's not part of the team anymore, we're going to turn our backs on him? Come on. Come on. Because the team says, you know what, they don't value him that way, so I'm not going to value him that way? Come on. Good morning, Mark Taylor. Appreciate you.
No, and I love it. How many times has your favorite team done something so stupid and everyone saw it coming and it was way wrong? Happens all the time.
I'm an A's fan, Joe Shasky. You don't need to tell me.
There are 31 teams or 29, depending on, in every sport, every year, who don't win it all, and you could look at a litany of things that they did wrong. That doesn't mean they're failures. Yeah. That doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. But the essence of sports is arguing about a pinch hit in the 7th inning, about a DB who shouldn't be playing, about a draft pick that they should have taken. That's the beauty of sports, is arguing organically about what you think versus what they think. That doesn't mean you don't love the Giants, Niners, or Warriors, but it also doesn't mean that you sit there and just eat it up like it's macaroni being served to you by your parents.
I love macaroni. Maybe I'll have that this weekend. That's Joe Shasky. He's coming up next on the Morning Roast. Bonta and Shasky. Golden State Warriors ticket giveaway all day right here on 95.7 The Game. You're going to want to be listening to the Morning Roast. Steiny Goo, Willard, and Dibbs for 3 different opportunities to win some tickets today on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco.